This is the third image we are going to edit in lesson 2. First thing you need to do is go ahead and open this from Bridge. And when you do, it'll say O2 CreativeColor start.jpg. Again, I want to mention that this asterisk does mean it has not been saved. And we will be saving it as the word working. So we're going to go up here to File, Save As. And I'm going to go, instead of JPEG, I'm going to make sure that this is a Photoshop document. And instead of the word start, I'm going to remove that and I'm going to change it to the word working. Make sure that it is saving in the appropriate folder, and that's where I want to save it, and go ahead and save. Make sure you do this at the beginning so that if you make a mistake, you don't have to undo in order to get your image back, that you could start clean with that starting file. Okay, in this lesson, we are going to add some preset adjustments. We are going to crop this image, and then we are also going to sharpen this image and make it a smart image. Okay, so the first thing that I want to do is I want to go in here and I want to remove the people back here. We know how to do that now. So I'm going to go over here. I'm going to grab my remove tool. Make sure you're not on the spot healing brush if you reset your tools, that you are on the remove tool. And we're going to go up here to find distractions, and we're going to click on find. Now I will mention this time, it is seeing these people as the main focus. It kind of understands that these are the people we want. So again, I have remove after each stroke uncheck marked. So therefore it's not going to automatically remove it. To get it to remove, I'm going to go ahead and hit that check mark. It'll take a few seconds and it will remove those images. The next thing that we want to do is we want to add a preset to this. Now this is kind of a portrait image. As you can see, these three people, actually this particular person, is truly into focus. So we are going to go over here to the right, and we have properties, adjustments, and libraries. Let's pretend for a minute that we do not see adjustments. I do need you to understand that anytime something is missing, we can turn on any of these panels by going up here to Window and then selecting the needed window, needed panel. So in here, adjustments is the one that we want. So make sure that is check marked. When we go in here, depending on your settings, we have lots of different presets. We have single adjustment. These are individual adjustments we can make that we made in the very first image that we did in this lesson. But we want to do presets, ones that have already been designed. And later on, I will show you how to create your own presets. But we're going to do one that is under portraits. And per the bookwork, they do want us to utilize the one that says warmth. So we're going to click on the one that says warmth, and it will apply it above our background image. Okay, so when we do that, we can see, if I turn this off, the difference warmth will add is a warm color to it. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is I want to look and see the different presets that are in here. We can see that a photo filter has been added. So if I click on that particular layer, and I go up here to properties, I can see that this says warming filter 85. I can always change this if I wanted to. I am going to go ahead and leave that warming filter as is, but just so you know, and again, this is going to be up to you. If you're like, I feel like it needs to be a little warmer, you could increase the warmth, maybe go up to 58%. If you think it should be less warm, you could take it down. Okay, I am going to just leave it as is, and I'm pretty happy with that. So I'm going to go ahead and click back down here to my background layer. Next thing I want to do is I want to do a little cropping. I don't like that maybe it's showing a little bit more over here, and I want this resized. So the next thing we want to do is we want to go over to our tools area, and we need to find the crop tool. Again, if I hover over this particular tool up here, you will see it says crop tool, or you can hit C on the keyboard and it will automatically take you over to the crop tool. So next thing I want to do is I want to decide how am I going to crop this. And I apologize, I already have this set. So by default, yours should be set at ratio. If for some reason, when you click on the crop tool, if you do not see sizing handles here, if you go up to view, make sure extras is checkmarked. If it's not checkmarked, you won't see them. Okay, so mine is checkmarked, so I am seeing them. I do want this to be a standard sheet of paper. So that is 8.5 by 11. So I'm going to go up here and we've got different ratios we can do. We could do a 1:1, 4:5, or 8 by 10. I don't want any of that. I actually want just this 8.5 by 11, 300 PPI. That is, again, a standard sheet of paper. So that's what I'm going to click on. And when I do that, it's going to put in 8.5 by 11. It's going to put it in portrait mode and it's going to kind of crop it this way. Obviously, that is not what I want. That would crop out off way too much. Now, if I want to flip these, I can go up here and I could click this and that would automatically flip it. Or let me go back to this. If I click it again, if I hit the X on the keyboard, that will also automatically flip it so that it is reversing those two, the width and height. Okay, so then that will take us to landscape. So I do want to cut a little bit out. I do want to, cut this down a little bit. So I'm going to cut this down to maybe about, about right here. It is going to keep it at a fixed ratio. And I'm going to go ahead and check mark that. Okay, so it should look something like this. And that's how easy it is to crop. One thing I want to mention, this is deleting out cropped pixels. Let me undo this for a moment. And if I did not want to, let me go ahead and crop this down, 8.5 by 11. If I did not want to check mark this, I could keep in those deleted pixels. Okay, so now if I go in here and let's say crop this down and I check mark this and I change my mind later on and I click on this and then I decide to expand this out, it's going to bring back that original. If I have this check marked, it will not bring back the original, so I won't be able to expand this out. So just an FYI. The downfall with not deleting it, which I like to have this check marked normally, is it will make it a bigger file, and I don't like those bigger files, so I am going to keep this check mark. That is going to be up to you and in your work area. So that's how easy it is to crop down an image in Photoshop. Next thing I want to do is I want to point out that if I needed to straighten this image, I could go up here and straighten. And we'll do that at a later date with another image. Last thing I want to do with these images is I want to add a filter to it. I want to sharpen this image up a little bit. So in order to do that, I like to make all of this a smart object. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to hold my shift key down and we're going to select all of these. And I'm going to right click. And if it does that, you might have to right click again. So right click until you see convert to smart object. And it's going to take all of those images and it's going to create a smart object called portraits warmth. Next, we're going to add a smart filter. So we're going to go up here to filter and we are going to add a sharpen smart filter. So we're going to say smart sharpen. So we're going to click on that. The last thing we're going to do is we are going to click on filter and we are going to go down to sharpen and we're going to go to smart sharpen. By default, it's going to be set at 200. So what we're going to do initially, let's take this down to, let's go like 60. And you can see that it starts to blur things, even though the remove lens blur is selected. It will not allow you to see as many pixels. Okay, if you want to see a little bit more detail and you want to sharpen this up and see like more of the hairs on his face or the hairs out here, if you increase this amount, and sometimes we can get it might be too much. So if we increase it here, you can see, and you can see it better if you uncheck mark the preview and check mark the preview. You can see that the hairs are, you know, more distinctive. But then this feels a little false. Okay, you pick whatever percentage you feel comfortable with. Okay, I'm going to take mine down to maybe 220, 270. I'm just going to leave it at 270 and then call it a day. Say okay. Last thing you need to do is to save this. We're going to go File, Save As, and please make sure we can go ahead. Actually, we'll save it. Last thing we're going to do is File, Save. We'll always make sure, I'm going to say Don't Show Again on that if yours pops up. And hit File, Save As, and don't forget, I want a PDF. So we will go in here and we will say Save As Photoshop PDF. So you will have a PSD and a PDF, which is absolutely what I want. Preserve Photoshop editing capabilities and optimize for fast web preview. Save PDF.